Hello again and welcome to Cup of Joe. As always, I'm your host Jason McNeil, and today we're going to talk about milk. All right? You may have heard recently there was a bit of a flap with Donald Trump and Justin Trudeau about dairy farmers and the dairy farming industry, and Donald Trump making the comment that what we have done to their dairy farmers, very bad, very, very bad, right? Whatever. And Trudeau says, you know, we protect our agricultural industries, every country does. You know, that's just the way it goes. So I figure it's worth it to maybe look into a little bit as to what this conflict is all about and what's causing it. All right, so the basic sort of foundation of the issue is that we don't subsidize farmers in the way that America subsidizes farmers. We do supply management, right? So we regulate the amount of milk produced, and we very closely regulate the quality of milk. So you'll hear some people telling you that we have the highest quality milk in the world. We have the best quality milk, in North America, and so that's part of why we do it the way we do. The other aspect of what we do is that because we're not overproducing, and we're not subsidizing the dairy farmers directly through taxes, it means our milk is going to cost more money. So we're regulating the price that farmers can charge for the milk so that they can make a profit, right? So at the end of the day, it is still sort of subsidizing them, but it's being subsidized through the price of the milk and the consumers paying it directly, as opposed to the government paying an amount of taxes. Now, America, they have, you know, these super farms and whatever, and they subsidize their farmers to the tune of, and it varies year by year based on production, but to the tune of hundreds of millions up to billions of dollars a year, right? Now, some people would say we should go with that same model. We shouldn't regulate the supply. That might allow more sort of free, what you would call free trade, and it may allow more American producers into our market. It may allow them to be more competitive with prices that they can't really be competitive with right now. And quite frankly, some people would say that would crush or cripple our dairy industry, and it would kill our farmers, and it would cost too much money to keep our farmers competitive in that sort of system. So you could go either way you want with it, and I personally think that our system being un-American, being different from theirs, I think that's a good thing. I don't mind paying extra for the milk. I guess some people would say that dairy products are, you know, a little expensive. The problem I see is essentially just poor people, right? If you're poor, this is the cost of milk, right? And if it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down. If we subsidize and you do it through taxes and stuff like that, conceivably you could have lower cost milk. Conceivably it would also be lower quality, but poor people might be able to buy the lower cost milk and they might not be taxed for the subsidy. And there may be ways to sort of protect poor people if you're not protecting farmers in the same way that we are now. But the sort of top layer, the top shelf stuff in this conflict is more recent than all of this. So what happened was last year, Canada, we created a new price class for milk products. We created a new price class for ultra-filtered milk, which is liquid high-protein concentrate, often used in cheeses and yogurt, and we dropped the price on that category of milk. We dropped the price on that category of milk to make our producers more attractive and to incentivize producers to make that form of milk. Now, 1 year later, you have Grasslands Dairy Producers, which is in Wisconsin. They say they have cut contracts with 75 dairy farmers, and the reason being they've lost $100 million worth of access to the Canadian industry. So because of this one change, $100 million worth of business they've lost. Conceivably, that means $100 million for Canadian farmers, right? Because we've picked up that part of the industry. New York, Cayuga Milk Ingredients tells Bloomberg they've lost 30% of their business, which is Canadian exports. Canadian exports, which make up 30% of their total business. So obviously for them, that's again quite a big hit because of one change. Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York says that this change, or he's addressed Trudeau, and he says that this change will cost $50 million to the dairy industry or the dairy market in New York. So there is definitely competition issues, and I can understand why producers in America would be upset. However, from the Canadian perspective, we have not broken any laws. We haven't changed anything. We haven't changed the rules of the free trade or any of that stuff. We've just, created the extra category. We've made our industry a little more competitive, and I feel like some producers in America can't keep up. and so they're pissed off. Having said all of this, I would also say what they're talking about is a tiny, tiny fraction of the American production market, right? So $100 million here, $50 million there. This is a tiny portion of what their actual market is. And Trudeau, I believe it was, pointed out, we do have a 5-to-1 deficit, right? So products coming in close to, 500 million, going out close to 100 million or so, similar like that. I don't know if that's the exact numbers, but that's the scale, right? 5-to-1, we have a deficit. We still buy products from American producers. So again, I do think it's kind of much ado about nothing. I just found it very interesting that the crux of the issue is two different systems, and thinking about which system works best, which system is more effective and efficient. I would say our system in Canada is more effective. If there's issues with access to milk for poor people or milk products, I believe we figure that out as a side issue, and we keep everything the way it is. That's how I feel about it. Again, that's just me, Jason McNeil of Cup of Joe Canada. I'd love to know what you guys think. Please, by all means, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. I try to answer as many of the comments as I can. And you can always get me on Twitter at Cup of Joe Canada.